I like the Champions League draw. The Champions League draw is always fun. Of course, I want to go to Tom first on this. Fell at the final hurdle, beat by. I mean, everybody got beat by Real Madrid last year unexpectedly. Are you as confident this year as going as far as a Liverpool fan, or not so much because you haven't had a great start to the season? Where'd you read at?
It depends completely on the fitness of one man, and that's Thiago Alcantara. We've built a system around him, and he can only play about 30 games a season at most. So if we can keep him fit for the majority of the Champions League games, we've got a chance. This is the competition that we've got the best chance of winning because you don't need consistency for it. You just need to be able to turn up for two games a month, basically. If we can, we've got the heritage, we've got the history. This is the competition we've got the best chance in, and if we can ensure that players like Thiago or players like Keita are fit for these games, even if it gets to the point where you've got to manage their minutes in the league and almost sacrifice the league title in February or March and just settle for top four to ensure that we've got the best chance in this competition, I'm going for it because I just want to win the Champions League again. Last season hurt, man. Last season really, really hurt.
I bet it did. I mean, look, it's hard to do two Champions League finals back to back, Roy. As Chelsea you've had times where you've had a final and a semi. Last year, you were very unlucky not to get to another semi-final after being the champions. Do you think Liverpool have enough? And they are actually linked today with a late move for Frankie de Jong. Like, this has been put out there by some credible Spanish sources. Is that the kind of player they need to sign between now and the end of the window, do you think? Or is it wrong to ever write off a club like Liverpool in the Champions League?
A club with their heritage, you can never completely write them off. But if you want to think logically and realistically, then they definitely do need to get a midfielder in before the window shuts. Even though I think presently built, if they can just keep everyone fit when the games come around or just not have too many injuries, then it's kind of hard to doubt them making at least the semi-finals. But if they do get a midfielder in, let's say they get De Jong or they manage to hijack Paqueta or someone like that, then there's no reason to think they can't go all the way.
Can I just preface this? We are not getting Frankie de Jong. Liverpool Football
Club and
FSG are not paying them wages. Not a chance. BBC Sport retweeted it or something. I'm like, come on, you're just getting people's hopes up for no reason. We're going to settle if we get one.
But even if you do sign a top quality
player,
midfielder, you should expect to be in the final.
Listen,
go on.
Liverpool are Champions League heritage. They are. But 2 finals in a row is so hard.
Has anyone done it apart from Real Madrid?
Real Madrid are like the only
United did it as well, actually. Remember? 2008, 2009.
Like in recent history, it's only really been Real Madrid. Like Man United's one is I think is 5 back with that. Right, cool.
When
did we do it?
Oh, they did. Yeah, 2018 and 19, of course.
Oh yeah, and also Liverpool.
We're the most recent team to do it.
Yeah, and they lost to Real Madrid the first time as well. So
actually saying that, then
Tottenham Hotspur come at us again. I want Tottenham Hotspur again.
I forgot about that. Liverpool can do it. You know what? Yeah, Liverpool can do it. You know why? Because of heritage. Heritage. If I'm saying Real Madrid won that Champions League because of football heritage, then I have to believe that Liverpool
heritage is almost what matters most in this competition. You look back at all these winners that really shouldn't have won it. They're all teams that have a fantastic history in the competition. Like Liverpool in 2005 shouldn't have won that. Barely got off the group stages. We're rocking Jimmy Traore as a third centre back for some unknown reason. Real Madrid last year, they shouldn't have made it as far as they did. But the heritage of the competition carries you through, and that's what it comes back to. You don't need the consistency. It's just for 180 minutes a month. Can you rock up? Can your stadium and all these players rock up and play the occasion?
And what was the last time, would you guys say, that legit the best team won the Champions League? Bayern 2 years. Bayern 2 years. And the team that they beat as well was a PSG team that you could have easily have said deserve to be there as well. You know what I mean? But recent times, it's not necessarily been the best team in Europe that actually wins the Champions League.
2017-18 was Man City and they couldn't get past the quarters.
Yeah. So if we're saying that this Liverpool team is not at their peak, we shouldn't write them off. in the Champions League because again they've got the heritage.
They can turn up when it matters if if they're on their A game, and that's all you really need to win the champs.
Yeah,
like just make it through the group stage in the top 2, and then as long as you can turn up on the day, that's all you really need.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool, of course, can do it. Like, you never write anybody off in football. Of course, Liverpool can do it. And I know your point you said there about you won't pay De Jong's wages, but that's the kind of player that you need. You need to add that quality because Real Madrid are actually going to be better this season, I think, than last year. It doesn't mean they'll go back to back, but would you write them off? They've done it before. Ancelotti, the most successful manager in the tournament, they've gone and added Tchouaméni to that brilliant midfield. And yes, Modric and Toni Kroos are a year older, but adding Tchouaméni in with, his name now eludes me, Camavinga, those two a year older, further forward, Vinicius Jr. a year, like, it's one of those things where Liverpool have to go up a level. Liverpool have to spend more money. Liverpool have got to do something. And of course, anyone can win it. I just don't see them. I wouldn't put Liverpool this season, heritage included, I wouldn't put them in my top 4 to win the Champions League. And that's based on the start they've had to the season, the slugged nature of some of their players. There's something. And I'm running it on the rule of 7. In Jurgen Klopp's 7th.
Oh, I saw this.
Jurgen Klopp's 7th season with Mainz, he was getting them relegated. In his 7th season with Dortmund, it fell apart. This is his 7th season with Liverpool, I believe. So I'm just going to go with the rule of 7. Yeah. 7, you know what I mean?
You're inhaler. You've got knowledge of inhalers. I hear that after 7 years, inhalers also die off as well. So I think there's a correlation, you know. What are you saying now, that Man, Liverpool, obviously you're probably your biggest threat in the league and in the Champions League. So
yeah, the Champions League's a bit of a weird competition because it is, I think heritage plays quite a lot into it. As we've seen, I think with City, it's like almost like a mental block. And it's not that we're not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Because in my opinion, that game against Madrid was over. You know, we'd already won the game. Like, to collapse like that, there's something there that's like stopping us from doing it. But at the same time, you do get teams who, because I don't think at the start of the season, people would have said Madrid. I would never rule them out because it's their competition, essentially. But I don't think you would have said, yeah, they're going to beat everyone to it. Even the final, I think most people's money was on Liverpool. So it's that sort of thing. So I think you could never rule them out. I would never rule them out. I think they're always, they've got to be in the top 2, regardless, because they just seem to always get there. But in terms of Liverpool, it depends, because I think part of the reason why they've started the season the way they have is because they played so many games. I noticed this with City, not last season, season before. We played pretty much to the end of every competition, like Liverpool. And we were just completely knackered at the start of last season. But because we've got quite a strong squad, we had time to kind of allow De Bruyne to get back to his best. And, you know, the defence that were injured, they were able to kind of come back and save our season. But yeah, I think Liverpool are going to be a bit tired, but that doesn't mean they can't win the Champions League, because by the time they're all back at their best, it's going to be in the knockout stages. So they can go on and win it. They've been to back-to-back finals. So I wouldn't rule them out, but I do think they need a midfielder because Thiago, a little bit unreliable because of injury.
That's very true to me. That's very true. But Terry, nah. We need to come back to Terry. Terry says something and trying to brush it underneath carpet like it. Liverpool are not in your top 4 win. Top 4 to win. You're on mute as well.
That's not making sense. How are they not in the top 4?
This is what I'm saying. Like, who? Okay, so
I can see it. Let me try and predict the 4 teams. I think he's got Bayern above us, PSG, Man City, and Real Madrid.
Bayern shouldn't be above you.
Wait. Is that Terry? Is that the 4 that you have above Liverpool?
Say those again.
Bayern, PSG, Real Madrid, Man City.
Yes. It's not like I'm not here trying to like I'm not here like trying to act like Notre Dame. Like I know more about football. I just kind of, again, just looking at the start. I also think I'm not going to give them that higher rating. I need to see how they're playing. But, you know, Barca have spent well. They were looking good towards the end of last season. They've added some real quality to their team. I wouldn't write them off in a knockout competition. I'm not writing Liverpool off. They're in the top 5, top 6. But I just feel, again, start of this season, Messi looks more like Messi. And if Messi is more like Messi, That's dangerous and it's different.